the meeting to order and do a roll call.
Roland.
Here.
Deborah Carlson.
Here.
Sarah will be on live, I guess, from a remote location. David Friedman.
Here.
Gail Wilson.
Here.
Rick Richter.
Here.
And John Satter.
Here.
We have a forum. We might be off on time because that ticket is fast.
Oh.
I'm showing it about 28 after.
Oh, well, you know what?
Or not, I guess
I have
it is
7:30.
It is 7:30.
I have 7:30. All right. We can deal with sort of the routine stuff, and perhaps Sarah will be calling in before we get to the meat. So, why don't we start with consideration of the minutes for the meeting for May 2, 2016. Have everybody's had a chance to review those? Anyone have any comments, suggestions, or is there a motion to approve them?
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, they're approved. Second item on the agenda is public comment. This is, if you're here and you have something you want to talk to the zoning board about that isn't on the meeting agenda, now's the time to talk. We have 2 items on the agenda. There are 2 people here, so I'm just going to guess that there isn't anybody that wants to talk about anything else. So, anybody have anything? Okay. So the next item, stalling slightly so that maybe Sarah can call in, although I think we have enough people here to get this done.
No, let's say that there is no meeting in August. No
Oh.
items were filed for the August meeting. So if there is a meeting, it will be the next time will be in September. We'll know that at the end of July.
Let me say one other thing. This is, when I first got onto the zoning board, Ed Goodale and Steve Ross were on the board. And they were here throughout my entire tenure. I learned a ton from them. The village benefited. The citizens who came before the board benefited from their wisdom, experience, and they'll be missed. And we have new board members, one of whom is here, Rick, and then the other, Sarah is calling in, but she hasn't yet, and you have big shoes to fill, but welcome. And so let's start. The next item on the agenda, and if, I hope Sarah will call in, but if she doesn't, and the vote is close, we'll talk to you about what you have to do about that. The next item is a public hearing to consider a request of Roberta Lifsh's 525 Sunset Lane to reduce the required north side yard for a proposed kitchen box bay window that projects out of the house wall. Everybody who's going to testify about that, or in fact anything tonight, raise your right hand so you can be sworn in. We'll only do that once.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in the matters about to be heard? Thank you.
Okay. So if you're going to speak about the request for 525 Sunset Lane, come on up to the podium, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and then tell us what you want and why we should grant it.
I have some handouts here. I don't know if you'd like to take
That'd be
them.
great.
Never been through this process before, so bear with me.
We're here to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you. My name is Dave Heigl. David Heigl Design Group is my company, and I'm the contractor on the project at 525 Sunset. And the Lifshades had asked me to represent them tonight for the variance.
Welcome.
What we're asking for is on the back wall of the house, where you have approximately a 10-foot setback. We'd like to bump the kitchen window out approximately 18 inches. It doesn't go down to the foundation, it's just straight out box bay, what we refer to as a box bay. And what it will do for us, her kitchen's somewhat narrow, it's not a very big kitchen, and it's somewhat narrow. It will help to expand it a little bit, and also on the north side of the house, doesn't get a lot of light. And by pushing it out, we have a window on either on left and right, and of course a big one on the part that pushes out, which will help to bring natural light into the space. And really, that's all I can tell you, that we're hoping to get that because it would be a large part of the design of our new kitchen.
What's the relationship between the box bay window and the sort of roof thing that comes out over the current window?
Oh, the soffit?
Yeah.
Yeah, the box bay, in order to make it look right, we're gonna frame it and trim it right up to the bottom of the soffit.
Okay. So it's not going to project further out than where the soffit
No.
is?
No, I think one of my notes that I submitted earlier, the soffit is a little over 2 feet, and we're only going out 18 inches. Want to make it look right.
So this request to the zoning board is a request for 18 inches. Have we heard from any neighbor complaining about this?
Neighbor at 555, Larry Fisher, wrote a note in favor of the variation that he sent to us.
And that's all we've heard.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody on the board have any questions about this request, this modest request?
The question I would have is, I'm just kind of curious, the air conditioning units are right in that space. Are you going to have to relocate those, or are they
No.
just going to stay there?
Now, the homeowner understands there'll be a little noise there and that, but it shouldn't affect him.
Anybody else have any questions about this? Is there a motion with respect to the Lifshay's variance request for 525 Sunset Lane?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's have a roll call.
Carlson,
Yes.
Lesser is absent at the moment. Friedman,
Yes.
Listner,
Yes.
Richker,
Yes.
Satter,
Yes.
and Ron.
Aye. Good luck with the
One for
project.
one.
Great job.
But don't get cocky
No,
about it.
thank you all very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So the next item, and Sarah is missing all of this. I understand she's in Big Sky. It's lovely there, but it's over here. Oh, Sarah! Can you, that's great. Can you see anything? And how much did you hear? Okay, I don't, so we won't, I'm not gonna make you vote. We voted unanimously to approve the first one, so we're now on the second request. And so, let's call a public hearing to consider a request of Abigail and Marcy Stein, 57 Mapleville Road, for a partial second floor addition over their existing attached garage, requiring a front yard variation. If you're gonna speak on this, get close. Just for the benefit of Sarah Elsesser, this is her first meeting and she's in Big Sky, and so she's trying to watch this. So, Sarah, what's your name?
John.
John.
Yeah.
Can you see John? Sarah?
John, I'm better. That was better.
You can see yourself. Oh, yeah,
All right, okay.
There he is.
All right, John, tell us your name, and then tell us your position, and then tell us what you're asking for and why we should grant.
Okay, thank you, thanks for having me. Is this the best place to put the, I do have a couple floors.
That's fine, that's good.
We just grab those.
If you want to move them closer so we can see it better, that'd be fine too.
Okay.
Yeah. You see the stand? Yeah. There you go.
Big floor. So my name's John Forehand. I'm an architect that I'm working with Avi and Marcy Stein on their home on Maple. And about 6 months ago, they came to us that wanted to add some bedrooms to their second floor. And the issue that came up against was that the way that the house is situated on the lot, the side yard is really the front yard, or the official front yard is basically the side yard. What we'd like to do is build over on top of their existing garage. This site plan, I think you have it probably in your package, but
We do.
this shows the shaded portion here is what we're talking about adding, where we're talking about adding the 2 bedrooms. And this area right here is the current 1-story garage, which is non-conforming at this point. So this, I showed this red line here, that's the 50-foot front yard setback. So what we're up against is, we obviously can't build on top of this, we're in the front yard setback. What Steins have asked us to do is come to you and see if you'll allow this. That we look at it a couple different ways. It's a large home, it's a beautiful home, it's been sitting there on the bluff for some time. I'm not sure of the history of that garage, but I know at the time when it was built, it was approved. The way that the second floor plan lays out, it's a natural spot to add these 2 bedrooms. And I can show you that in the floor plan. So, this is the main house, the existing home, and here the shaded portion are the 2 bedrooms added on. Essentially, we were trying to add on to the house so that we didn't affect the architecture. And I do also have elevations which show, again, the shaded portions are the addition. The thought is to extend the existing architecture to work within the existing home. And it seems to make sense in that we don't have to affect any of the landscaping or affect any more, build any more impermeable surface. And basically the way that Maple Hill works, when you're coming down this way, the front of the house is actually over here, but so when I look at it, it feels like the side yard, but it is in fact the front yard. So that's our issue. We'd love to add these 2 bedrooms up here. They feel that, obviously a large second floor plan, but the majority of it is the master suite. So that they're trying to add bedrooms so that they effectively need extra bedrooms is what they're trying to do.
So what does this garage that you're going to build on top of, what's it looking out in? I'm curious about who, if anybody's going to be bothered or might be bothered by having that, this big thing in the front,
Right.
What's technically the front yard.
Right. I believe we have a letter from the neighbor just directly on this side. Mr. Wood has that. They said they were favorable to it. When you come down the area to get to the house itself, there's only a few more lots off of this road here.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect you guys have driven down there. It feels it's like a cul-de-sac, but there's no front doors facing that area.
Right.
And certainly a lot of foliage or landscaping behind the garage. We don't think it's a big impact on the streetscape, and we feel that it works well with the house, and we actually think the garage right now is a little bland. From an architectural standpoint, I think actually it'll help the look of the house.
So I went by there this afternoon, there were a lot of trees around it now. Are there still going to be trees around it after you do this?
We wouldn't affect those other than trimming what's hanging over the garage at this point.
So in the summer, you wouldn't see it all, and in the winter maybe you would.
I agree.
So was the garage an addition at some point?
It was, yeah. You can tell when you look at the architecture, it's a little bit, they didn't put the amount of detail on it that the house has.
And so it's a 1-story, but how large is the footprint of the the garage?
You can see it, well, it's basically this whole footprint, but single story.
Uh-huh.
And the thought is not build over the entire garage, but close to maybe 2/3 of it.
Okay, and will you be doing anything then with the part of the garage over which you're not building anything?
Remain as just a roof area, which currently is a flat roof.
And so the reason you need the variance is because the original garage was just sort of an odd shape?
Well, it was an odd shape, and again, I don't know the history of if that was granted as a variance for the garage.
I can give you the history. The house there was built in 1991. And the old house, which we have a survey of, actually followed a similar site plan. And the old garage of that house before was at the same location. Because of its non-conforming location, the zoning code does allow a reconstruction of the same size or smaller as a one-story, which is what it was before. So that's why it was permitted in 1991. There were no variations granted. For an upward expansion of any non-conforming portion of a house, you do require a zoning variation in our zoning code. So on any property, if someone wants to go up from an existing nonconformity, let's say it's a side yard of 7 feet and the setback today is 10, they're going to need a side yard variation, and we've seen some of those, I think, over the months or years in the past.
So this is a front yard variance because even though it doesn't look like the front yard would be there, it's the front
It is
yard.
the zoning front of that house, yeah. Not in terms of the way it's cited on the lot, but the siting.
And which of the neighbors did we hear from that are okay with it, that's okay with it?
Well, I had a phone call from the one directly west, Mr. Jeffrey Iserman at 75 Maple Hill, and he had no problem with the proposal.
Okay, and
I
what
did
about,
not receive the other letter that you're
I was
referring
referring
to.
to what you had said, so
Oh,
there was
okay.
nothing else.
so we didn't hear from
There were no other
10
comments.
or 50
That's correct, we did not.
who would have, if anybody's gonna have a beef, it could be them, but of course, this is off the road.
With the screening that's there,
Yeah.
you don't even hardly see it today.
I drove over there in the summer and you wouldn't be able to see it at all. My guess is in the winter, maybe you would,
Perhaps.
but
If you recall, 10 Maple Hill had the gate variation, and 10 is,
He's
he's
the-
using that
that's
as
the
a coach house, so that's not even as, used
Right.
as the main house. The main house is at 20.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, okay, so this clearly isn't gonna bother anybody. Anybody have any questions? I mean, it's probably a little hard to say with respect to this house hardship. You know,
Right.
this is, these folks don't have hardships, but it still, to me, it's a lovely spot, it's a lovely house. You're not making it worse, and we're not gonna bother anybody, and I guess this is when the kind of variance we could allow. Anybody have any questions, comments?
And I agree that the fact that they're not going off the full length of the house kind of decreases the bulk that somebody could potentially complain about. So, I think that certainly the aesthetics would be pleasing.
Can the 2 bedrooms be added in another location that doesn't require a variance?
We looked at a lot of areas, and what ended up happening was that we were talking about adding onto the other side of the house, which we could have done without a variance. However, it was going to cause a lot more problems in terms of the landscape and more impermeable surface. Frankly, it's a more expensive way to do it. This is building on top of an existing foundation. We thought it was the more green thing to do in terms of, and it actually worked very well with the floor plan too. So I can't tell you that we couldn't put it somewhere else, but it certainly architecturally works best here.
Anybody else have a comment? Sarah, did you get any of this?
I heard all of it.
Excellent, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
Motion to,
It's a motion to approve.
motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Carlson,
Yes,
Elsesser,
Sarah, you're supposed to vote.
Yeah, you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, got it.
Friedman. Yes. Listener,
Yes.
Richker,
Yes.
Saturn,
Yes.
and Ron.
Aye. Thank you for your excellent presentation, and best of luck to the Steins. There was a rumor that they put the house for sale. Are they staying?
My understanding is that they're gonna stay, but.
Yeah, they're not required to
Right,
stay.
right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for an excellent presentation. Sarah, congratulations on your first vote. Rich, congratulations on your first vote.
Very exciting.
Yeah, motion.
Oh, yeah, that was actually.
We can tell, I don't know if Sarah heard that there is no meeting in August.
Sarah, I'm the one sitting closest to the phone. John announced there is no August meeting,
Okay.
so if you want to hang out and take Sky for a month, you have our permission.
That would be nice, but unfortunately, I have only 10 more days left. But I've been here for 3 weeks, so I can't complain.
Sounds good. All right, well, is there anything else we should talk about before we have a motion to adjourn? Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your lovely summer. Welcome, Rick. Welcome, Sarah. And we'll see you guys after Labor Day.